live.
Shall we say hi?
Start talking.
Hi guys!
Start talking.
Hi! So I'm just waiting for a couple of more people to join in, and then I'm going to
Talk about.
I know. Hi Ruchika, how are you? I'm so happy you joined. Hi Arushi. So I'm just waiting for a couple of more people to join, and then I'll add Worldviral. Hi Harsh. Okay, so I'm just going to add so let me introduce them and then I'll call you. Wait.
Start talking.
Okay. So hi guys, this is Radhika here from Mic Drop Mom. Today I'm having this interesting and informative conversation with a brand called Worldviral. Now a lot of you must be asking then, okay, what exactly is Worldviral? What is this brand all about? Now this brand is a one-stop solution for any child's future. It is an academic mentor program that gets students into their dream college. It is led by Abhishek and Devanshi Chitlangya, who bring educational experience from 3 different countries and 12 years of combined professional experience. Preparation is the key to success, said Alexander Graham Bell. So all of you who are planning for your colleges or doing your research or have not started with the research and are still thinking, please do start taking notes on this conversation, because a lot of doubts, a lot of tips will be discussed here that will be very much helpful for your child's future. So I'm just going to add Abhishek. Hi.
Hi Radhika, how are you?
I'm
Thank
fine.
you.
How are you?
All great. Thank you so much for having me today. As your page is really doing fantastic work. It's really excellent, and I think it's a great project that you have started. And I'm
Thank
really
you.
wishing you that it really grows more and
Right. Absolutely. So, Abhishek, I have a long list of questions that I got from the viewers. So, are you ready to
okay.
answer all of them?
Really? Wow. I am ready.
So, when I spoke
So
to
I'm
you,
ready
my
because
first thing, yeah, please go on.
no, I said I'm ready because you know what our whole point is that I want to bring as much resources and as much guidance to students that is possible, because they are the future and they need as much mentorship and guidance, which should not be reserved for few. They should be available for all. So that's why we're here.
Okay, because when I spoke to you first, I realized that the first thing as a parent that I need to do is change my mindset, because my college preps were completely different than what you are teaching and guiding the kids right now. I mean, with the new generation, the actual relevant experience that you provide, it is the only way to get your dream college, whether it's a college or the career.
Yeah.
So my first question to you is that my child is in class 4.
Okay.
So can I start now? Or
Yeah,
you
absolutely. More
already?
than ready.
Okay. Okay. So how do you build a successful school career?
So, Radhika, that's a great question. And I think that's one of the most pressing questions that most students today have. And what's really, it's confusing to them that what are they doing right now? Does it make sense? Is the right thing? And how much of an impact will it make for them later on in life?
Right.
And that is why when we talk about a school career, we talk about looking at it as a three-step process. The first thing we say is that you need to identify who you are as a person. What are your passions, your values, and that kind of defines where you want to go next in life. I'm not saying that you decide on the outset that, oh, I want to be like a investment banker, or I want to be like an economist. But what I do say is identify which stream you want to go towards. What is your calling? And specifically within that, what elements is really intrigue you? Does it problem solving? Do you enjoy that? Do you like looking at numbers, or do you like helping people? And then when that comes together, you'll have an idea about who you are. And
Right.
then you start going deep into it. Start looking at, to look, academics aside, like you have to do well in exams. That requires you to pay attention in class. But a school career will require you to start looking at a lot of activities beyond the classroom and to make it successful. Today, that's what the world is requiring. The
So what
second
activity
aspect then,
about?
yeah.
What activity?
So the next activity, so for example, the activities that you want to start looking at are based again the based on the career or the values that you have. So, for example, if you're really interested in, say, history, then you maybe will start wanting to join a club which kind of propagates that. Where you may want to, there's maybe the heritage club or a history club in your school. If you're really interested in mathematics, maybe join the math club, or you join the science club. And that's just within school itself. And outside school, start taking part in competitions, olympiads, think about research papers, join other organizations, take workshops, go deep. It's always better to go deep than go wide. um, be an achiever over trying to be a jack of all trades and a master of none. And in all of these,
Right.
community service is very critical. People today need to see that compassion coming in from the young generation. It's no longer like the old times, when grades would matter and that's all you needed. And the third part, I would say, is that's now what the new generation is all about. And this is all good. This is where hygiene levels come in. The next aspect is your X factor. And the X factor starts reflecting from your skill set. You need to be able to present, communicate, work as a team, be a leader, be a problem solver. Everything, you need to have it all, and you need to be able to communicate the same. Now,
Okay,
that's what's going to
I have to
differentiate you.
stop you. 1 minute, 1 minute. If a child cannot decide what stream that child needs to pick up, then how
Yes.
can you help that child or those parents to push their child in the right direction?
Definitely. So now that's okay. Not being able to decide a stream right now in life is totally understandable. You're going through, you're evolving as a person as you go along, but you
Absolutely.
are able to understand what you like as a person. Do you
Right.
like working with people? Do you like working alone? Do you like working with numbers, or do you like working things which are more theoretical or more
Right.
philosophical? That
Right.
you know. Do you like working with actual results, or do you like creating things on a canvas? That you don't need to know about your stream. And so these are the skills that you start honing in on. People want to see that you're passionate about something, that you can deliver results. So you can be someone who is a fantastic artist, and you say, but I love, and then you go and take an investment banking job. The reason they will take you is because you're passionate and can deliver. And that's what people look for today. That hard skill, technical skill can all be taught. It's 10% your hard skills, and it's 90% of who you are as a person.
Okay. So I'm actually seeing, a lot of kids from class 6, 7, 8, they start doing the social service and they start going to NGOs and they get those certificates and all. So what is the right, I mean, from which class should they start doing this?
So I think as soon as you start is great, because it shows that you're consistent with something, that you're genuinely passionate about it.
Right.
So if you start from say 6, 7, 8, as long as you can manage the time. But very clear
Right.
when you mentioned the word certificate, is that look, the certificate is not as important because think about it, anyone and everyone can get a basic certificate. What's more important is what are you taking out of that session for yourself, or that month, 2 months, 3 months. What did you make an impact in somebody else's life, even if it's one person? Do you have a story to take from that? Did it make you evolve and change as a person? That's what's more important than being able to just get
Right.
another certificate, because certificates are available dime a dozen.
So
Does
do you
that
think a
kind of
child is
answer?
6 that join Worldviral, or do you think it is too early for that child to join your initiative?
So there's nothing all too early or too late when you're thinking about self-growth and self-development. Now, World Viral, as a what we look as mentors, we see that there are a lot of things we offer. You know, when you look at college and career, that's something which really gets developed deep when you're grades 11 and 12. But before that, developing your skill set, developing yourself as a person, identifying the child as a person is very important.
Right.
See, if you those people who may have seen my page would have also noticed that we don't just work on colleges. We are looking at a holistic growth of an individual.
Right.
We had fantastic sessions with Mr. Saloni Priya, well-renowned child psychologist, with Indrajit Bhalotia and Ramit Tandon, and sports people, and I mean the leaders in the sports world today. So when you think about when you look at the entire holistic growth of a person, it should start on as soon as you can, as long as once the child feels he's ready and the parent feels that yes, my child has matured to a certain degree, that he can now start taking decisions, thinking more about his future. And everyone reaches
So
that
how
point at a different stage.
important? Okay. So how important do you think sports is from class 6 onwards? Like, would you like
It
to push a
is,
child to join sports for
I would.
to get into the dream college?
So yes, sports is actually very important. Now, sports does not has to be 100% for everyone. It again comes to you as a person, but do
Right.
not make them leave sports thinking that it will not help you later in life.
Okay.
Sports as a department or as a field is, or as a facet of life, is so important for a child. They are able to, the first thing that comes out, it shows your passion, it shows your determination
Right.
and motivation to execute, because genuinely it is very important. And the third thing, it shows that you are leading a very healthy and motivated life. And that's something
Absolutely.
which today is very valuable, because so much more comes out when someone says I'm an athlete than someone says I did well in school. Because I see more about him as a person, as his personality, teamwork, leadership,
Right.
all come through sports. And leaving
Right.
that for academics, no, you manage both. You have to do. The world is moving ahead. The requirements for each individual today is changing by the month, by the year. It's no longer by the
Absolutely.
generation.
Absolutely. So, one very important question is, like, if a child thinks that okay, I'm going to go to US for my higher education, but by the time the child reaches class 12, okay, so US is not working for me, I'm going to switch to UK. Has that ever happened
Okay.
with you? Or I'm going to shift to Singapore? Has it
It's
ever happened?
happening all the time.
Okay.
It's happening all the time. It happened with my sister. So it's something that I'm seeing. It happened. So it's even what's happened 10 years ago, it's happening today. And that's all right, because circumstances will keep changing for an individual. But that does
Absolutely.
not mean that, not doing the prep work right now, or not doing the basics, because that's going to evolve you for life. It's
Correct.
not going to, it's not going to be just, it's not for today. It's going to help you as a person, as an individual. And colleges today, even if you look at the national education program, that the policy that the government of India announced, is all evolving towards looking at a holistic development. So whether it's the US or
Right.
Singapore, growing as a, they all look at how you are as a person and are able to evolve and develop as a person and showcase results and
Right.
change. And circumstances change, your decisions change, your needs change. US presents certain
Absolutely.
great opportunities, but so do US, UK, and Singapore. And how that will
Right.
evolve,
So, you think the preparations between US, UK, and Singapore, or in fact India, the process is same, or do you think the process is different for each country? The approach from class 6 which the child will put in, is it different for each country, or is it I mean they can decide in class 11 or 12 regarding that?
So see, the situation is, think about it from this perspective that today the requirements to get admitted into a US college, the requirements is a lot more holistic and stringent well compared to top US college is, let's say, UK, or maybe and maybe some of the colleges in Singapore, whereas something like NUS is also very stringent. Well, some people have more academic focus, well, some people have more extracurricular focus. That's okay. But when you start thinking about your future, why do you want to ever limit your opportunities? Why do you want to ever limit your own growth? So, and how things may evolve, say 3 years or 4 years down the line, why do you ever want to limit yourself? Why do you want to say from now that I will not do this? Explore, enjoy, develop yourself. And really, when you start finally taking the decision, no experience is ever going to be a waste of time. And yes, the US has many more essays and more requirements to submit. And yes, the work is harder than, say, going to the UK, where it's only one application, or say Singapore, when you have, again, limited, slightly lesser work. But who you are as a person cannot change. So that's when you're talking about holistic mentorship. And why ever leave yourself that I wasted my time? Why ever put yourself in a position that I didn't do this?
So do you had any students, you know, who the parents have come in and said, Abhishek, this is my child, and from class 6, so you have to, this child is under your wings, under Worldviral, and you have to take care of this child for the next 6 years. Has it ever happened?
No, at the age of class 6, it has not happened with me, but Devanshi has. So because in class 6, there is not such a requirement to have a consistent 12-month hand-holding. My wife, my lovely wife and the founder, Devanshi, has worked extensively with kids in class 6, 7, 8. And what we, at that level, the main work that we talk to people is learning more about the world, getting that extra exposure, thinking about the world economy and thinking about how the global forces work and what you should be doing. Now, that doesn't require me to handhold you and build a profile through month on month on month. That's not the right age for doing that. But that is also the right age for learning about different things. And that's what we have done with several students. I'm not sure if maybe they're watching or not watching. If they are, they could give a handshake or hand or something.
So I'm just going to give a quick brief that what Worldviral is all about. Worldviral is a one-stop solution for any child's future. It is an academic mentor program that gets students into the green colleges. It is run by Abhishek and Devanshi Chitlangia, who bring educational experience from 3 countries and 12 years of combined professional experience. So if you have any doubts, questions, please do message us here on the comment box. We would love to answer all your questions. Now, Abhishek, my next very important question, which has been sent by a parent, and she said that, you know, you need to ask Abhishek this question, is the exams and college prep. What best way to manage time? So when the child is pressurized with the exams, and then you are also pressurizing, okay, now you have to do college prep, write the essays, do this, do that. Now, how will you guide the child to manage time?
Absolutely. Time management is a key lesson, and it's something that really picks up pressure by the time you start looking at class 10, 11, and 12. And the way we look at it is a very systematic way. And it's something we really ask people to think about, make yourself a calendar and think about small goals. So when you think about a calendar, I talk about weekly, make it like a weekly breakup, week 1, week 2, week 3, and start listing all the things that you need to be doing. And that's where we come in. We help you, list it down. Okay, this is what you need to achieve, and start thinking about the time you need to give for each thing. And also remember that the time that you give for each thing will always be different. So what your friend maybe is able to achieve in 1 hour, you may need 2 or 3 or 4 hours. Be honest with yourself. I need to do this. I need to do these items. This is also the great way of filtering out all those unnecessary activities which you say, I'm getting involved in it. So I'm going because my friend is getting involved in it. So
Right.
then you start figuring all of those out.
Absolutely. I'm
And
sure you must have had students coming and telling you that, okay, I can't do this. You know, mere se nahi ho raha hai. I can't do this. This is too much of pressure. Has it ever happened that a student is
yes,
back
it happens.
pressure?
And when that comes, then we start asking them to build this weekly calendar. And you start listing. And okay, so another three parts of this. It's not just making a calendar and setting out, ki ye karna hai.
Right.
First, you need to plan, okay, what are you going to do? I'm not saying break it down into hourly. Just say this is what you need to achieve this week, or say in these days that I have to do these many chapters, or I have to, give so many hours of community service, or whatever it is, to help these many people raise so much money. Against
Right.
that, you have to put in the actuals. What is it you did? The
Right.
third most important part, which I say, is the result of that. Say I said I want to giving a SAT mocks, okay, and you say I will give 3 SAT mocks, and you come out of that and you say, okay, I did 4 SAT mocks. Doing things and doing the results is okay. Then you start also mapping the results. That at the end of 3 or 4 SAT mocks, at this particular time, I should have started receiving a score of 1300. Start measuring yourself. Am I achieving what I said I would achieve by doing the activities that I said I would do? And
Correct.
pivot.
Right.
Pivot as many times as you can.
Okay.
There's no problem in realizing, okay, this was not the path, I'm going to change. It's fine, great. That's what we're here for. Talk to
Right.
people, talk to your seniors, talk to mentors, your parents, saying, this is what I'm going to do. Parents are a very big role here, to helping
That's
you,
my
keeping you.
question. You can't answer that. Wait, answer that. Because one of my very close friends, she has messaged me that, and she's asking that how should the parent-student relationship be for best success? How important a parent's role is in a student getting to the dream college? And where do
Absolutely.
you come in here? I mean, I'm sure it's like, you are in the middle between the student and the parent. How do you how do you
It's
manage
actually very different. It's very different. Actually, what I feel is what in Calcutta, which is slightly less than in other cities, it has to be more of a partnership. As a parent, you think about it, you've invested time, money, mental and emotional and physical time and everything and resources. So you have, and the child is also investing a lot, and you're creating this goal of a family, of a, of your as a group for yourselves to move forward in life. So it is a partnership that has to be taken forward. Children today and students today are very different from, say, my time, your time, or slightly before.
Yeah.
The
Absolutely.
relationship, they are more mature, they are more independent,
More
they're
mature.
able to take better decisions, and are able to understand a lot more than we could. Think about it, kids today at 4 or 5 are able to use the iPad better than I can. So it's a bit of all of that comes
Absolutely.
into play. Right?
Yes, for sure.
So it's all, everything is evolving, so give them that respect. Recognize how they
Right.
have evolved as people, give them that much of freedom, and take them as partners and work through things with them, and try doing something with them every week, a small project where they see you as a partner, less of a parent. That way, one, your acceptance is more, and the ability to talk to you better, sooner, and bring problems to you is easier.
Right.
So whether it's, maybe they may be facing a problem with a school buddy, with the teacher, with some exam, they'll be more comfortable bringing it out to you, and you in your mind will be more comfortable giving them that solution. So that's what I talk
So
about when
has
I
it
say
ever
parents and
happened
students.
that the parent is saying that my child will do science, but the child is saying, no, I'm going to do arts. But you know that the
Absolutely.
child is good in arts. You want to push the child towards arts. So where do you come in? How do you, as Worldviral, how do you convince the parent? Do you have that power to convince the parent that please,
See, I had the power
child is good enough?
to convince the parent. Yes, I mean that is it all comes down. That's a 21st century skill. That is the power to convince people. But what
Right.
the way I look at when I see everything is, I have to be first convinced that the child is interested in art and will be a successful career for them. And then I have to outline that, okay, the mother wants the child to do science. What is there, or the father wants to do it? Why? What do they see as the future? And then, you have to be able to match their concerns, their requirements with that, or where the child will be good at. Because see, the end of the goal, putting a child into somewhere which is not going to be good. Because see, why are they putting him into science? They are thinking that his life is successful banega. He will have all the opportunities in the world coming to
Right.
him. All gates will be open. He will make more money and have that's what the mindset is, right? So, but then you have to clear
Right.
the doubt. That does not mean that if you do arts or humanities, that's not going to come their way. You have to show and you have to show that because this is the route which your child will take. This is the great opportunities that will come by his way. And by being happy and motivated and successful in what he's doing, all your concerns will be addressed. So that's
So my
what
next
it
question to
was.
you, right, right. So how important is a parent's involvement for students and college application? Do you involve the
That's
parent in
something.
it? Or what should the parent do to guide the
See, the
child in the
parents
right
should be really
direction?
big. Now, when the child comes to, so it's a child coming to us for mentorship, and my always
Right.
suggestion is not the parent, but I always, as a person, I believe very strongly that the parent, and we love it when the parent is involved. It's very important for that. Because at the end of the day, look, it's the investment is made by the parent. I am
Yes.
just the financial advisor or the investment advisor, right?
Right.
And so it is very important that the parent is very deeply involved. They should do a lot of research. They should also see the opportunities by their way. For example, if a child is looking for some sort of an internship or some sort of a guidance in terms of a startup that he's doing or something else, or a research that he wants to do, most parents today have such a vast network. They can have their class groups, from when they were in college or when they were in school. They'll have so many resources that they will be able to give their child. They would be able to guide the child for a lot more number of things because
But Abhishek,
they
listen, I just want to stop you here. Let's suppose my daughter is in class 6 and you are telling me to do my research. So where do I start the research? I don't know anything. I don't know where to research. I know a couple of my friends. I can go and talk to them. But is that the starting? Where do I start my research from? How do I
okay.
guide my child?
I think the first research when looking at guiding your child is definitely talking to some friends whose children have gone through the same phase. That's definitely one of the friends and family are very important. It kind of gives you an idea because of the culture we live in and the
Right.
society we live in, what is available and talk to them and start seeking out students who have done well. Start
Right.
seeking to the parents what did they do, what is it they did differently. That's one. Two, coaches and counselors, they are very
Right.
good people to talk to because they have been meeting students over several batches after batches and batches. They're great because
Okay.
they will be able to talk about their example of so what that child did then, and they'll be more than happy to talk about this student did this student did that, and then you'll be able to match. Okay, these are certain opportunities that are available, and then
Right.
obviously Google is your best friend for being able to search for any opportunities that are available. Anyone can drop me a DM anytime. I've spoken to parents so
Yeah.
many times and they said, is this kind of an opportunity there? I'm more than happy to provide the same. Connect them
Right.
to the right resources and say, this is what you should join.
So, what age do you think child should join for internship? I mean, which class the child should join for internship?
Honestly, in internship, a child should be really looking at in grades, say 11 and 12.
11
Reason
and
being is
12.
reason. See, I would say not before maybe 9 and 10 you could consider it, but think about an internship has to be a dual
Right.
relationship. Before that,
Correct.
you can do an apprentice. You can do like a work experience or like a work shadow. Because an
Right.
internship requires you to start delivering results. Before that, you can start shadowing people at work. You can go and be an observer. You can be like an apprentice,
Right.
learn what is going on, be a part of the office environment, ask questions. You're yet to learn many things, but you have a curious mind. Use that,
But we
absorb
but do
information.
you get a certificate there, Abhishek? Will you get a certificate that you can show in the college application, or will you get a letter from there
So
when
I'll
you
tell
do
you
that
two things.
certificate?
Any internship you do and any job experience or work experience, everyone is more than happy to give a letter or an internship letter or something like that. That nobody's give. But the second aspect is when you're applying to colleges, it is an Indian thing which is talking about a certificate.
Right.
Colleges in US, UK, and all believe in the honor code. That all, and you have to sign that declaration at the end that whatever you have submitted is true and honest to your best ability, which
Okay.
means that they are not doubting that you haven't done this.
Hmm.
And it will reflect in your essay or your interview and whatever else that you're also going to submit. It is completely going to reflect in that, if you're
Right.
lying or not. The base of
Right.
checking that any certificate, whether if you haven't done the work, I can produce you 6 fake certificates. I could make one on Excel. I'm sorry, on PowerPoint or something like that, or on Canva.
Right.
So certificates are
Right.
available. Who can disprove that? What's
Right.
going to happen is that certificate is when you start writing about the experience. When you start talking about the experience, then that's when you start catching it.
Okay, so I have a very interesting question that you need to answer. So if this pandemic is not going anywhere with the current situation, what will you advise the kids? What to do?
So
Should
I think the
they
pandemic is a
all the plan going abroad and study in India and look for colleges over here? What do you do?
I always say that if you're in grade 11 and 12 right now, think about it. You will be
Right.
going to college next in 2021 or 2022.
Right.
It's a very different scenario than what it's going to be right now. And so that is the first aspect. So don't ever shut doors for yourself. Going abroad or going India has to be a personal decision that has to be based on who you are as a person and what you want to achieve in life. Today, UK is opening up better with fewer cases than India. Singapore has limited to 0 to no cases. The US, in most college towns, have very few cases, and colleges are spending millions and millions of dollars. Bates College, we had a session with them last week. They're spending $5 million this semester alone on testing and providing care to students who are going to come in. So these colleges are the leaders of the world in terms of the intellect. So they know how to take care of these situations. I understand that parents are concerned. I understand that it is scary going abroad, but they are countries with the best healthcare. They are countries with the best minds and the best intellect, running the best educational systems, which are going to then. So take the decision as who you are as a person, whether you should be here or whether you should go abroad. Prepare yourself well. At the end, if there are certain geopolitical issues regarding borders, that's something which cannot be helped. But that does not mean shut doors to yourself.
So has the colleges reduced their fees during this pandemic?
No. The colleges
No.
have not reduced their fees.
Are
They
they
still
giving
have to
more
pay their
scholarships
professors.
for the students?
So scholarship for the students have actually increased in majority of the colleges because colleges have, in fact, many colleges did the same during the financial crisis of 2008. They understand their goal is to provide the best education to the best students with the best potential. So they're actually giving out more than they were doing. The alumni have all come together and banded together and providing that aid. Each college, again, is a separate story. So I will not be able to talk about each individual college because it is different. That I will take on separately. But they recognize the fact that students are going through hardship right now and they will need as much support as they can. And they don't want to let potential greatness go to waste.
So one more question. Do you guide the students for sponsorship, scholarship, and finance? See, because end of the day, if the child is going abroad, a lot of money is involved. So do you guide the students like, okay, fine, so this is the sponsorship options, these are the scholarship options, this is where you can get the finance. Do you help the child and the parent?
Absolutely.
Where to go and how to go about it?
Absolutely. So there are two aspects about finance. Look, even in India today, top schools like Ashoka require you to spend 40 lakhs over the next 4 years. So college education now has become the minimum.
40. Okay.
So, and US education over 4 years comes down to anywhere around 1.5 to 1.7 crores when you're paying full. So yes, it is a big expense and it's a lifetime expense for your lifetime success, right? Now, I understand that, so scholarships and aid comes in two ways. You have those which are given by the universities themselves, be either merit-based or need-based. Each college is different and unique, and we discuss with each student what is available, what is not possible. We look at the situation and then we give them the options as per the need. So I'm not going to recommend a college which is expensive and does not give aid. There's no point, right? You're
Yeah.
wasting your time. They're not going to give you the aid because of their policy. And there are
Right.
opportunities outside as well. There are private donors, there are banks, and there are ways of going and investing and saving money, which can help you. We work with a lot of people who we discuss a lot of times that what is it that we can do to help parents, make the right investments, because foreign currency transfers, all of these require a lot of different thought process. Liquidity is a big issue because fees have to be paid in one shot. So we do definitely think about those things as well, and we give the right resources, get the right applications in for the aid. And honestly, for need-based aid, it's not that difficult. For scholarships, yes, competition is there, but students, well-deserving students, always get it.
Okay.
What one should get, one always gets.
Okay. So, what is the main aspect when planning for college? What is the main aspect? Like when you plan for college and you have so many options and you're spoiled for choice, how do you help a student to pick up the perfect college?
The best thing, but I always say, is values. And you need to understand two things: your own values and the values of where you're going. And that is what a lot of people don't talk about. They go run after the brand. They run after मेरा name Sharma ji ka beta gaya tha. If you get the
Exactly.
connection
That's
here.
what I'm going to ask you. Okay, my friend is going, that's why I'm going to go. My cousin has gone, that's why I'm going to go. Then
No,
how
you
do
need to
you
know values. You need to know who you are as a person. Who you are, what are the values that are inherent within you that make you tick, that make you
Right.
succeed, that make you, run that extra mile. And that's when you want to match your values. Not only so you're not only matching your values to the career stream and the job stream and everything else that you're going for. You also need to match it to the values and the culture of the place that you're applying to.
Correct.
So, for example, the value system at a school like UC Berkeley versus Notre Dame versus Harvard, Princeton, Brown is all different.
But then,
What
Abhishek,
the
how do you
student
do
body
that?
there,
How do you find values? How do you do that? How do you do the research? If a parent comes, if a child comes and asks me, Mom, I'm so confused. I don't know what are the values. What I'm going to do? You have to help
so
me out. And
I
I'm a
can help.
confused parent. But I don't know. You ask Abhishek only. I can't help you. So,
Okay,
how do you help that
I,
child?
okay, I know. So, what I say, I know my values, and so I know I can help you find your values. Okay, that's where I
Correct.
am there. To find the values of the university, research. And research is not only just reading online, you need to start talking to people. And you need to talk to admissions officers, you need to talk to students there, you need to talk to alumni from there to get a flavor. And now here's the tricky part. To find out what the values are, you need to be able to ask the right questions.
Right.
That's when I come in. That's when I help say, okay, if you need to, like, for example, all the university sessions we did, a lot of that we moderated. And I specifically moderated them. And I specifically asked those questions which I know students need to be asking. That's what, because if you don't
Absolutely.
understand the values and the culture, and you have to, because now here's an example. And this I learned when I went to the US, right? So I was looking at to get a consulting job. Now it's not just in
Okay.
college; it's going to happen every stage of your life in future. And there were a plethora of consulting companies that were coming in, and there was say a McKinsey, a Bain and Company, a BCG, Deloitte, Ernst and Young, and there were like several boutique firms as well. Now I was interviewing with a lot of them, but I spent the whole summer before that talking to every consulting company, talking to the consultants, talking to the recruitment officers, the HR about the company. Got a flavor of what it's all about. What's the camaraderie between the people? How do the people interact? What sort of relationship exists? How easy is it to succeed? What are the expectations that come in? How do the people even talk? I mean, and I found clear differences in each
Right.
of the organizations, and I found where am I going to resonate. And here's the thing: I applied to every one of them because why close your chances? And guess what? They know this very well. I realized at the end of it that I got offers from only those companies where I said I would be the best fit here. Well, I told myself I will be the best fit here. This is my dream. The rest is great. So Bain and Company was my number one priority because of its culture.
So do you give
And
the
you can
question
see
for
that.
asked? Do you give the questionnaire, the cheat questionnaire
Sorry?
that you need to ask for
It's
every
not a
company?
questionnaire. There is a questionnaire. There is a sheet. Yes, but it's a very deep process where I have to start pulling things out from you because filling. I can ask you to fill a questionnaire, but
Do
asking you to
people
fill.
talk, Abhishek? Abhishek, do people talk? Do people give, give out so much? Like whatever you just
Yes,
said.
it's not easy. You have to build a relationship with them. You have to be comfortable with them. You have to be their friend. You have to be the confidant. You have to know that what you're telling me, I will not take it somewhere else. I have to build the trust factor with them, and I have to ask the right questions. People are very happy to talk to me because they know that I am the mentor. I'm here to help them. I'm here with no vested
Right.
interest. I'm not here to snitch on them to their
Correct.
parents. They know that. But I also need to be able to ask the right questions. I need to be able to prod at the right places and stop where I feel it's getting too much. And that's when they are able to talk. And so I asked them to fill a questionnaire. Yes. I asked them to think what are your values, give them some options. But that's not where the buck stops. I then go through the whole thing, ask them behind it, feel the emotions behind the story, and then realize, okay, these are the actual values coming out. This is where this person is saying how the process evolves itself.
Abhishek, are you there?
Yeah, yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
I can hear you
So,
clearly. Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to know, okay, if a student has come and filled up this questionnaire and that child is not a pushy child, then, how do you help that child? That, okay, so you need to take out information because it is
And
tough. This
exactly,
is really tough.
it is very tough. There are a lot of people who are not very comfortable sharing. When you
Exactly.
look at a personality, but then you see there are a lot of personalities, and you have to, and it is a skill set which takes time to evolve and time to grow on how to work with different kinds of people,
So
and
can
that
you help
is
the
actually
student? So can you help the student to develop this skill set? Because I feel that this skill set is
absolutely,
very. This skill
absolutely.
set is
You
very
have to
important.
help them. Absolutely, you have to help them out. You have to work with them through examples. You have to push them, and each student can only push a certain amount, right? You have to recognize that I can't
Right.
push someone who is going to take 10 steps when mentally they can only take one. There's
Right.
someone who can take
Exactly.
20 steps at the same time in one shot. So I
Right.
recognize that, and then you push them slowly. Why don't you take a small activity? Why don't you write 50 words today? And there's
Right.
someone I say, give me a 500-word essay tomorrow, and I'll get this. And you have to see what's going to differ. You have to work with them. And again, this also is a trial and error thing. I'm not saying I'm perfect and I'll get a grab on the right go. Because look, I've not grown up with you. I've not seen you for the last 16 years. But
Right.
I have to be dynamic enough to see when there's an error, quickly pivot and get the right answer.
Correct. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, what is the main aspect when planning for college?
Main aspect when planning for college, as I said, the main aspect is definitely your values, and when you're looking at values, the second aspect that you're really starting to start thinking about is who are you and what is the X factor. That is the absolute bottom line. That what is
What
it
is
that's
the
going to
X
make
factor?
you stand out?
What is
It
the
is the
X
X
factor?
factor.
What is the
The
X
X
factor?
factor is what is making you going to stand out. What is it that's going to make you stand out from the crowd?
So,
Why
you
should
mean
I
to
select you?
say activity wise, skill set wise,
Yes,
value wise? How?
exactly.
What?
So now it can be anywhere. It can be in community service, an internship, some club activities, some values that you were able to display, some experience that you've been able to have. So,
Okay.
for example, or some academics, or it can be in academics. Now, when I say about academics, you can say, look, everyone is taking the same courses, but is academics limited to the school? No. People have taken courses outside. People
Right.
have done a lot of research work outside with college professors, with other academicians, and researchers.
Right.
Academics is not limited to when you're looking at social work. How deep are you going? How many people are you helping? And what are the skills that are making you stand out coming out from that? I am not saying do 30 activities today, but what is it that one thing that if I say, yeah, wow, that's a guy I want as part of my school. He's the person who is going to excel in my college and take my brand name. Because see what's going to happen today. I have gone around everywhere and I say I'm an alumnus of the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor.
Okay.
And if I have to be someone who is should be able to represent that badge, that do I hold the values and the ability to wear that badge, and that is what the university is looking for. Are you
Correct.
someone who is deserves to wear that badge?
Absolutely.
And that's what you need to showcase to them.
Okay. So you think that yes, extracurricular activities are very, very important and they are the vital part for college admissions?
So it's not just about extracurricular activities. It is about what you get from that. You have to see,
Okay.
you have to show yourself as a person who will succeed there, right? So me doing
Correct.
again 10, 15 activities doesn't matter. It is
Correct.
what difference was I able to make and what difference
Right.
did it make to me.
Absolutely.
That's what's the X factor.
Okay. Right. So
So
yeah, go on.
as I was saying, so when you're looking as when you're saying I did this project, I did this startup, I did anything, it doesn't matter so much that 30 other people who did it, but you really need to
Right.
show your case, yourself, your personality, and how much of an impact it made to you. And it has to be genuine. Please be very genuine about this. There's no point lying and trying to fake your way through it all. And
Right.
it has to, and today, because you're in school, you have 6 subjects. Everyone today has 6 subjects. You get say 95%, but then there's so many other students who are getting 95%, 94%, and anything between 92 and say 96 is very, they're so close to each other that how do you make the difference?
Right.
How do you make a difference? It's not like you're competing with someone's getting 72, someone's getting 48, and you're getting 92. Now that's, again,
Right.
then you'd be standing out, right? So when
Correct.
that's not happening, how do you stand out?
Right. So is there any new government curriculum or any new government policies that has been introduced that affects
The national,
the
the
kids who are
NEP
going abroad for
2020.
study?
But yes, absolutely. So now there are two elements. One, the private sector took notice of this about 5-10 years ago.
Okay.
If you look at schools like Ashoka and Kriya, they were set up by the great industrialists of our age, like Anand Mahindra,
Correct.
Anu Aga, and all of these famous families, and they provide this kind of an education which is more holistic and different. And the government has taken note. The Indian education system up till now required you to take a specific one exam, get there, and just go through the British system of learning. But even the British system has evolved. Even they have become more holistic. What is addressing that issue? Now, next 10 to 15 years, it's not going to come overnight, but that can't be expected. But what is happening is they are going to make things more holistic. They are going to focus on a child as a whole. They are going to bring about looking at different elements of a child. And it is going to impact the metros down very quickly. It's already impacting. You can see the top schools in the city. They have heavy focus on it. Whether you look at Modern High, you look at the Heritage, you look at Mahadevi Birla World Academy. I've spent time with these schools and I've really enjoyed talking to their students. La Martinia is my alma mater. Look, I couldn't say that. So, as Devian said,
tell me about Modern High. Tell me about Modern High.
I have never been more impressed. I don't know what I should talk about schools and favorites, but the students, I think, in terms of the caliber and their ability and their worldview and their ability to deliver results, it's quite remarkable. And I said other schools like Mahadevi Birla and Heritage and La Martinia and all of the other schools. I'm not taking favorites, but definitely it is one of the schools that I was genuinely very, very impressed. I've seen.
Abhishek, so when a child comes to you and the child is confused that, okay, should I study abroad or should I study in India?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do? How do you guide that child in the right direction? That child might not survive in a
Absolutely.
college which is abroad, but that child will thrive in India, or vice versa. So how do you help that child?
Absolutely.
How do you recognize that factor?
So the first thing that comes across from the child, I start, when we work with the child, there are a lot of time. The initial few meetings and sessions is all spent on getting to know the child better.
Correct.
Who they are as people, what scares them, where do they feel comfortable, where do they not feel comfortable, how easy is it for them to succeed, what does it take for them to succeed, how important are different factors such as home, family life, the Indian connection, living
Right.
alone, independence, how easy is it, how much have they, and while they may say it, then the next step is I ask them, where have they displayed it? If I see a child has done, say, in me camps, then the
Right.
child has gone 14 days, lived on his own in the rugged wild. They have that ability
Absolutely.
in them. So that's an example of something where I say, yeah, this child can go out on his own. Look, at the end of the day, if he goes out 3 months later, he's not able to take it. Now, I can't take that as someone, you can't predict everything. But
Right.
99% of the chance you avoid all of those issues by spending time working with the child.
But Abhishek, will
And
you guide a child, a parent whose child is in class 5 or like me, 4, 5, 6? Will you guide that child to go for guide that parent to send the child to NV camps or different camps or go for independent camps or go for sessions or debate sessions on their own? Would you guide, would you have a list, you can just help parents ki, okay, you can send the child,
we
so
do.
that when the child comes in class 12, the child is fiercely independent and can be super street smart, that is very important.
Absolutely.
So can you
And
help the
five,
parents
six,
that way?
absolutely. And 5, 6, 7 is a great time for you to do a lot of trial and error also. The
Correct.
child's mind is still young, it's still molding itself, it's still
Correct.
developing. There's a lot of space to do trial and error sessions that tend to be shorter, maybe 1 month, 2 months, something like that. It's a lot of fun. So getting
Yeah.
them to try different things, so they get very excited about it. And so yes, I would be able to provide them a lot of resources, a lot of different ways that you can look at the situation and what you can try. Um, and like you can work individually with the child itself, themselves also, and get them the right resources. Things are so much available online these days. You don't have to physically go. In the pandemic, you can't go. That's a different
Obviously.
story. Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. And then it kind of starts establishing what the child really is interested in. Start seeing the passion coming out of the child, and then you can really push them to excel, and start
Right.
developing the foundation.
So can you
It's
do a
really
blog
great
post
to
on
do that.
that? I want you to do, if you don't mind, can you do a blog post on that? The children who are in class 5, 6, 7. I mean, what different the parents can push them to during this pandemic. If you can do a blog
I will
post later
definitely
on
do that.
then share it.
Yes, what you can do, definitely. I will definitely put that out. Definitely. I'd love to do that. So you said classes
Because
5,
it
6,
will,
and 7, right?
yes, absolutely. Because
Definitely.
it's a big help like me. Because suddenly if you say college, it's like so much of pressure. I can't even tell you. It's too much of pressure. So
No, it's too far, but now's the time to start thinking about. But don't think about it as college. Think about a successful child. Think about them being
absolutely.
successful individuals. Think about them when they're 18, 20, 25, 30. That's you're grooming them for that. And as parents, okay, I'm not a parent, but that's the job, right?
Absolutely. Correct.
That's why you have kids to evolve us as people, as to take us to the next level, as to grow as individuals. And it would be injustice to bring someone here and then not give them the right resources to succeed and to leave them by the wayside. We have evolved as people to know that there's so much we can do to take our society forward, right? And you could have the next Einstein, you could have the next Newton, and you could have the next Narendra Modi, big fan, but you could have the so you have to see that.
Right. Abhishek, I have one more small question to ask you.
Okay.
I know
Mhm.
I'm asking a lot of questions. I can't help it. Everybody sent me so many
I'm more
questions.
than happy to answer.
I want to ask you about sponsorship
Sponsorship for
for
colleges.
the college. Yeah, for the students when they go. I want to ask you for sponsorship. Do you link the student for the sponsorship, or are there any programs where the students can apply for sponsorship?
So as I said before, all scholarships and sponsorships for universities tend to be specific to that university because they have their own funds, and that's the great thing, right?
Correct.
Universities have their own funds, so that's when you're looking at the US. A country like Singapore is great, wherein the government gives a lot of it.
Yes.
So the resources are all available. Think the resources are all available today. Think about all the government subsidies that you want. It's just the question is being able to find it in the right places, being able to see the right locations, and then it's a simple matter of putting in the application before the deadline. And once you do that, there are a lot of very great companies who give up so much money on the table, that for most any student who's thinking that I don't want to go abroad because I don't have the money, that's not there. The society today is geared to get everyone the best education if you have the potential. So I would never suggest that. I would always suggest.
Do you guide a child in that
Absolutely.
section?
If you have the potential,
that aspect,
yeah. Yes, if you have the potential, when we work with the child and we see the potential and the interest of the child, and you see that the child will thrive and succeed there, then there's so many opportunities that the child can take that will get them that resources that will get them to achieve what they want to achieve and from the right educational institution, whether it's Singapore, US, UK, and don't think of it as countries. Think about the value addition that the institute brings. So, for example, think about if you think of Singapore, but National University of Singapore is the 11th ranked university in the world. So, do you say NUS is not better than, say, maybe University of Michigan, which is probably the 16th ranked university in the world? And but NUS gives so much more aid than Michigan does. So don't think that US is the end all be all. You have to find, the world is becoming smaller by the day. Opportunities and availability for Indians is growing by the day. And that's when you want to start capturing.
Right. So, as Picasso said, action is a fundamental key to success. So this means that if you need to start your college preps, you should have a very different mindset, and that of a winner. You should have your goals, your action in place, and not only talks. You have to be hardworking, dedicated. You have to do your research. You have to prepare, practice. You should have good habits and perseverance. I have gained so much knowledge and information, Abhishek, today. I can't even tell you. I mean, I am on a different here because I changed my mindset before speaking to you. That okay, so I have to have an open mind because I know what's happening right now in the college process, how the admissions and all these preparations are going on. So I'm sure a lot of parents' doubts have been cleared today. If you still have any queries, please go and be in touch with Abhishek from Worldviral. They will be more than happy to clear all your doubts.
Thank you so much, Radhika.
I'm actually very, it's such a nice information, that you shared with all of us. I'm very happy with the conversation.
Thank you so much, Radhika. And I really appreciate it. And I really loved it being here. I think the questions were very important, very pertinent. And I'm hoping it helped the people who attended this session or who may be seeing the session afterwards as well. There is a lot to learn, and there's a lot of difference that's going to come up as we are evolving, changing as people. And I love your page. It's doing some great work, and I'm hoping for anything collaboration we can do in the future, especially when the pandemic opens up.
I agree.
Great. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Abhishek. Thank you so much. Please say thank you to Devanshi also.
Definitely. She is the soul of Worldviral.
Yeah. Thank you, Abhishek.